Hey all, this is part two, and this is actually going to be a re-recording of a video that I did earlier that there was an error in. So if you get to a video later on and it talks about this, this is what it was talking about. Essentially, there was an issue with what we had going on here, and we've corrected it now. So in a later video, you'll see me come up here and notice that this is incorrect, but the rest of the video is mostly correct, so we're going to leave it. But with that in mind, we're going to talk about a couple of versions of if-else-if statements, and that's all of that. So get rid of that, clear this, and I moved it to stacked because it was a little bit easier to notice what was going on. But that said, here's all of this. And the first one is going to be a rocks, paper, scissors game. So first one is going to be if they chose rock, and if they chose paper, scissors, and then if they chose something that was not on the list. So this is the way it's going to work. If we have rock, if we have paper, we have scissors, and if you have some bum who chooses something like gun, which is an illegal move, it'll tell them that they have chosen poorly. So now we're going to have one where we're finding the right t-shirt. In this case, there is a maximum and minimum width for each size t-shirt. And based on the size of some t-shirt, we will tell them they should select a small, medium, large, or select a different shirt. And this is how we're going to be building the if, else if statements. You'll notice that we haven't really done an if, else statement, and the reason is because it doesn't really matter. Each time that you keep chaining an else if, you can keep chaining them indefinitely. So that's something to keep in mind. So with a shirt width of 25, they get a small. Shirt width of 35, they're going to get a medium. Shirt width of 45, they're going to get a large. And a shirt width of negative 45, they don't need a shirt, they need maybe an exorcist or a quantum physicist. But anyway, they also need a different shirt. So that's how that's going to work in that case. Now we have a slightly more complicated example. In this one, we're going to have a set of recipe minimums. We're also going to have a set of stock for each of those minimums. So the recipe calls for tomatoes and onions. We have a certain number in stock. And we're also going to create two more variables called excess tomatoes and excess onions. Now, in the example that I'm going to walk you through, that's the coding challenge of this documentation, I'm going to make these if statements operate around the values of excess tomatoes and excess onions. But you could always keep in mind that you can do it with these the way I've done it here, and you're going to get the same response. So four possible cases should immediately jump your mind to an if-else-if statement, at least linked this way. And one is where we need more tomatoes and onions, one is where we need more tomatoes but have enough onions, one is where we have enough tomatoes but we need more onions, and then the last one is going to be in the event that we have enough of both. And in that case, we're going to say that we have enough tomatoes and onions, but that there will be a certain number of excess tomatoes and a certain number of excess onions. So for the first case that we're going to run, we're going to have enough of both, and so it's going to tell us that we need 2 extra tomato and 1 extra onion, which is excellent. Let's remove the number of tomatoes that we need, let's change the number of tomatoes that we have so that we don't have enough tomatoes. In that case, it's going to tell us we need more tomatoes, but we have enough onions. Now let's say that we don't have enough of either, and it's going to tell us that we need more of both. And the last case would be if we have enough tomatoes, but we don't have enough onions, and the console.log statement is going to help us out there as well. So that's pretty much it for this part of the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.